Hello, 7th grade. I wanted to shoot this video on coding in Jeroo because we are getting into methods, and just wanted to see if this would be more beneficial to you all instead of me sitting up there talking through a PowerPoint. So give it a shot and let me know. Be interested to see your feedback if you like this better or just me presenting it in a PowerPoint format. What I have open right now is obviously the Jeroo program. You'll need to open up that program just like you would per normal. And then I want to remind you guys how to open up the specific files. So for example, if you want to open up your code, you're looking for a JSC file. So let's pull up the relay course one that's here. And then we also have to open up an island file if we have a specific island. Remember, the relay course did come with its own specific island. The island files have an extension or file name of JEV. So if you're looking for an island file, so that's this guy over here, all right? Island file and then the open manila folder. Look for the JEV and open it through here. And then if you want the source code, that is actually a JSC file. And again, I open up relay.jsc, all right? And then just run it through real quick. All right, so everything works just like it should, and everything's good to go. All right, let me go ahead and close out of that. If you wanting to switch or open to a new program, you can just go ahead and open, or if you want to just go completely brand new, you can click new here. That'll get you a new source code, and new here, that creates the new island plot. All right, now getting into methods and what methods are, and really when we're talking about methods, there are two kinds. There's your main method, which is this tab here. This is where we've been writing all of our code. And then we have Jeroo Methods, okay, and this column over here. And let me open up a file to kind of walk you through it. And we'll open up our initials file. Remember, we did this several weeks ago, if not over a month ago. And it says, a reminder, this is what it looks like. It's just Jeroo Max going through and planting initials JC. Okay, now this is a lot of individual code. I've got to put max dot. This is an object. Max is our object. Any Jeroo name that you have, that is the quote-unquote object. Then we have to dot to say object dot and then do this particular action. Okay, and what methods allow us to do is write this code one time, and then in a much shorter with one line of code in the main method, it allows us to utilize the same bit over and over and over again. All right, so let me run through this as an example. I want to convert this guy excuse me, from all these individual steps, and I want to turn it into 2 to 3 lines worth of code. All right, so remember, this is our method main, and now I'm going to go over and I'm actually going to create Jeroo methods for this. So what you do is you go over to Jeroo Methods tab, and then it's a similar setup to method main. We start with method space, and then we come up with our own name. It can be any name that you want as long as it's not one that Jeroo has already used. So we can't use main, we can't use plant, we can't use hop, we can't use turn, but basically anything else works. Okay, so for example, I want this code to be for making the letter J. So I'm just going to do make J, open and close parentheses. Now, the naming and the syntax of this object name or this method name is important, okay? Your first word always has to be lowercase, and then it just helps to read. You're going to put no spaces in between the first and the second word of your method name, but you want to capitalize that first word. Now, because we're making letters, I can just signify make and then whatever letter I'm going to make. But if this was, let's say, make turn around or turn and run away, so it would write turn and run away. Okay, so the first word is always lowercase. The second and every first letter of the however many names or words you have in your method name, you want to capitalize that first letter. So turn and run away. That could be the name of a method. That's fine. All right, but since we're making J, I want to go back to make J. And we're going to open squiggly bracket. Again, that's shift and then the button directly to the left of the P or to the right of the P. Similar setup, right? Method main, squiggly bracket, method make J, squiggly bracket. Right? An indent and tab, so that way we get a little bit of space. And we want this bit of code, because this is what makes our J. This guy right here. So I'm going to copy, cut, and paste. Now, whenever you're making a Jeroo method, you have to remove the object. All you want is the action. Remember, max dot is our object. So I have to go through and I want to delete all of these max dots, because in a Jeroo method, we do not want an object name. And the reason we don't want an object name is because then, if we don't have an object name, we can assign this same behavior, making the letter J, to any object. So we can have any Jeroo, not just max, make a J. Give me a second, let me get through all of these, getting rid of maxes. Wish they had a find all feature, but they don't. You can see I'm not changing anything else besides getting rid of max and dot, so I'm getting rid of all the object names. And you can see all that's left are the actions. Now all these individual actions, these plant and hop, plant and hop, plant and hop, all that stuff, those are individual actions that create a behavior. And the behavior I'm creating is the letter J. Okay? Now it could be anything. I could say, you, Mr. Student, please go outside the door. That's the behavior. You standing, walking to the end of the hall or into the room, and going outside the door. That's the behavior. Each individual step to get there, that's the actions you must take. So as you can see, I'm getting rid of, here are all the individual actions to make the letter J. Now I'm not quite done. I've almost got it done. Remember, I opened my squiggly brackets up here, so I have to end my Jeroo method with the close squiggly bracket. So shift, close squiggly bracket. Okay? Now, if I want to make J, all I have to do is go back to main method. Now remember, I made max. Okay? So max is here. This is called instantiating a Jeroo or creating a Jeroo. Jeroo max. I'm going to start him at 1, 2. So this is going to be 1, 2 right here. Okay, you can see in the cursor location it says 1, 2 in the parentheses, so this is where max is going to get created. And I want max to make J. Okay, remember that's the name I gave to this make, and then he'll run through and he'll make J. So let's see, we're going to make this a little bit faster. Ready? Here we go. So now, I told him to make J. He's going through the Jeroo method, and then he's going to stop and make the C in the same light. All right? Now, so that worked for J. Let's go ahead and do it for C. We got to copy, and you guys can write this, obviously on your own, or you can take your initials out. So cut him there. Now, this is make J. I don't want to mess up make J, so I just enter a few times, and I go method make C, open squigglies, and then I just paste, enter a few times, close squigglies. Now, am I done? Am I ready to go? I'm not, am I? I have to go through here, and I have to get rid of all of the objects again. When you're writing in this, the reason why I'm doing this in the initial format with all of these letter initials is you guys will be creating words using these programs and using these methods just like I'm doing. So I'm actually going to write a little bit too besides just copy and pasting, or what I should say is cutting and pasting. And I'll go ahead and pause the video now until I'm done with it, and I'll come back. Alright, so I've gone through and I've removed all of the objects from my Jeroo method. And you can see make C is ready to go. So we flip back over to our main method, and now we need max to make C. Remember, end each line of code with our semicolon. Now you remember that initials JSE file where it was all of this stuff, okay, but over in the main method. Now our main method is just 3 lines of code. Make max, and then have max do that. And there's a reason why coders do this. They do this to save memory. Remember, speed equals light. So the faster you have, the better off, the faster your program is, the better off you are. And not just from a user interaction standpoint, but from a real monetary standpoint. Amazon, one of the largest companies in our country right now, has actually realized that every 0.1 seconds of load time delay, meaning if it takes a web page to load 0.1 seconds longer, they lose about $100. That's ridiculous, right? Over 1/10 of a second, they lose $100. So speed means good, all right? And speed comes from very lightweight code. So we just have all of these Jeroo methods that they call on when necessary. Now let's see if this works. So all we have is our main method, Jeroo max we making, and we're asking him to make it J and make C. Here we go. So I asked him to make J, he's making J, and now I'm asking him to make C, and he made C. Okay? Now I know what you're asking. I know what you're thinking to yourselves. Well, that's cool, but we really didn't save that much time because we still had to write all that code here. But remember, now that it's written once, we can say it over and over and over again. So let's move max, and we can space this out. So max dot turn right, max dot hop, I don't know, let's call it 4 spaces down. And now we're going to ask him to make max make J again. Okay, so again, we didn't write any extra code this time besides getting him down a little bit in the grid and then ask him to make J again. So let's see what happens. Oh, I didn't turn him. All right, so I got to turn him back to the right. So hold on. So we need a hop 4, and then I need to have him max turn right, and let's try it again. We'll speed this up. Well, that didn't work out. All right, so my error was I had him turn to the right, and I actually needed him to turn left. And that's all computer programming is trying something, seeing what fails, and then fixing it. Let's try it again. There we go. Okay? So that's what we wanted. Now, if I wanted to, I could also have him max dot make C again. There we go. All right, so you can have him do that same pattern over and over and over again. And stay tuned because you will have your own assignment coming up, and I'll tell you about that in class. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps, and I would love to have your feedback. Bye now.